Welcome back to Breakfast Television. It is West Nile season in Alberta, so joining us this morning is Craig Jenny, PhD scientist at the University of Calgary's Cummings School of Medicine, to tell us about the latest research in the area. Good morning to you. So you are a specialist in how viruses are in the body and what the body does in response to them. So why don't we start right there? So first of all, what is West Nile virus and what does the body do?
West Nile virus is a bug carried by mosquitoes, and people get infected when they get bitten by a mosquito.
Okay.
For most people, it's a pretty mild virus. Fewer than 1 in 5 even know they're infected. Those that do develop an infection, the vast majority, just a fever, maybe some body aches. And it's only about 1 in 150 that are infected develop something more severe.
More severe. And what does that look like, these severe cases?
So that's getting into the numbness, paralysis, sometimes some loss of vision. And then, unfortunately, about 10% of those patients that get really severe end up succumbing and passing away due to the illness.
Wow. So it can be really serious in those rare cases.
In those rare cases, it can be very serious. That's right.
All right. Now, the problem, I guess, with this virus is that we have no vaccine and no treatment. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. Unfortunately, no vaccine, no treatment currently. We simply, if you're infected, manage symptoms. We do have a number of really good vaccines for veterinary patients, so horses, for example.
So why is that happening? Why is there research in these animal models and not in humans?
There's a couple of reasons for that. One is the restrictions are a little looser in horses, but probably more important is that about 1/3 of animals that are infected end up with severe disease in horses and unfortunately have to be euthanized.
Oh, wow.
So we needed to rush something to the agricultural side, otherwise it would be devastating to the farmers.
For sure, for sure. So talk a little bit now about the research underway when it comes to vaccines in humans.
Right. So we're currently working on a number of different approaches, whether it's a killed West Nile virus or another virus that looks like West Nile virus to sort of trick the immune system. Most of those have cleared the first couple safety trials, and now they're just awaiting the larger clinical efficacy trials.
Okay. But you were saying earlier there are some barriers to moving those forward. What's going on there?
So one of the big barriers is with a disease that's this rare, it costs literally billions of dollars to do these large trials, and unless there's a reasonable chance of vaccine uptake, it's very difficult to launch those trials.
And what do you mean by vaccine uptake? Do you mean like a province getting on board saying we're going to do this for the general population?
Getting a province or countries on board that either recommend it or cover the cost of vaccination, knowing that enough patients will use the vaccine to justify doing the large-scale trials.
Wow, okay. And you were also saying, too, that sometimes researching this vaccine can be challenging just because of the nature of it.
Exactly. So given that we don't have any treatments for this virus, this is one of those ones that we would classify as a biocontainment level 3. So, for example, currently in the University of Calgary, we only have a single biohazard 3 lab, and it really restricts who can work on it and what kind of work can be done.
Okay. And is that because you just don't want researchers getting infected,
Exactly,
right?
Yeah. If we don't have a treatment, then, somebody, gets infected in the lab and there's nothing we can do for them. So we have to put these into special containment units.
Okay. So that makes all of this challenging.
It does, yeah.
So in the meantime, what do we need to think about then if we don't have a vaccine,
so the big, plus, if there is a plus to this particular virus, is it's carried by mosquitoes.
Right.
So if we can target the mosquitoes, and some of that is as complicated as pesticides, some of it is simple as draining standing water on your property. Or if you're out in the evening, light colors, long sleeves, insect repellent, really effective with this particular disease.
So, and how is it looking in Alberta so far?
So this year, not many. Every year we're worried it comes back. There was a lot of numbers 15 years ago, but it seems that everybody's adapted to it and fewer animals carry it, so fewer mosquitoes, so fewer human cases, thankfully.
Thankfully in this province,
but it could be back,
It could change at any time.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, Craig, thank you so much for being here. Great information as always.